A Dungeons & Dragons TV show could gain a fun edge and embrace a completely new genre by using this seldom-seen subclass. Several options for possible Dungeons & Dragons spin-off projects have been proposed ever since Paramount announced the cancellation of its television plans, from having the show take place in new settings to featuring other potential monsters and gods. However, few of these ideas have mentioned who would be the main protagonists, despite the fact that there are a variety of options for the show to follow that are rarely seen outside the tabletop. If a studio were to adapt a Dungeons & Dragons TV show and have it stand out, then it would need to go outside the classic character archetypes audiences have seen in other pieces of fantasy media. In order to do this, the series could follow the less traditional subclasses the tabletop has to offer, granting more opportunities for new stories and never-before-seen arcs while also honoring the source material. Fortunately, one bardic subclass that is rarely explored could do this, taking a potential Dungeons & Dragons series in a new direction. A Dungeons & Dragons show could follow a College of Whispers bard. College of Whispers bards parallel the classic image of a bard in Dungeons & Dragons. A potential Dungeons & Dragons live-action show could follow the less traditional College of Whispers bard, whose abilities and background could allow for a unique story to be told. Bards are often portrayed as performers and entertainers, with many bardic spells in Dungeons & Dragons aiming towards distraction or bombastic attacks. A College of Whispers bard, however, is a character built for subterfuge, who uses their abilities to gather information alongside persuading and entertaining. Many of their abilities, including Mantle of Whispers and Shadow Lore, highlight the darker undertone to their motives, uncoupling them from their carefree image. Having a Dungeons & Dragons show follow a College of Whispers bard could highlight how versatile the classes of the tabletop are and give the series a distinct feel. The character could be similar to Edgin, Chris Pine, from Dungeons & Dragons, Honor Among Thieves, who uses a strategic mindset. Unlike Edgin, though, the character could be more cunning and calculated, using their magic to get what they want without being detected. That calculation could let a few tropes from the spy genre slip in, creating a new kind of fantasy show while still in Dungeons & Dragons' distinct world. Setting a spy thriller in a Dungeons & Dragons world could create a completely new fantasy show. The series could blend D&D's open storytelling with the spy thriller's suspense. A bard jumps off a tower while holding a lute, with a monster crawling on the wall looks on from above. Creating a spy thriller story set in the world of Dungeons & Dragons could produce a fantasy show that has yet to be explored, blending both genres and highlighting the strengths of each. Using the spy thriller format, the Dungeons & Dragons show could be an anthology following a College of Whispers bard who must outwit a new enemy each time rather than an overarching fantasy narrative. Adding that anthology element would allow the story to remain fresh and incorporate the idea that every famous spy has a plethora of enemies whose plans must always be thwarted. Another aspect of the spy thriller that could be added is the daring escapes, which would blend well with the tabletop's allowance for comedy. Opportunities for both inventive traps and ways to fail would abound, especially as the character's enemies would have to account for magic, leading to many hilarious scenarios for both the hero and villain. Utilizing these elements would ultimately make any potential Dungeons & Dragons TV show more fun as old and new audiences find something to enjoy and learn about the wider possibilities of the tabletop.